Resident Evil 2 is back, and in classic fashion, Capcom aren't afraid to load up Resi with a ton of cool Easter eggs, references, and nods to the past. But this isn't just your bog standard HD remaster. With a fresh lick of paint comes a ton of new and unique ideas. So with that said, here's 21 brilliant little details we've found so far in Resident Evil 2. Warning, there's gonna be spoilers. Veteran fans will remember that it was possible to find a zombie Brad Vickers in the tunnel under RPD's entrance. Although you don't get to meet the STARS pilot this time around, if you venture into the same area in your Scenario B playthrough, you'll see a fitting tribute to our fallen hero. The introduction of the liquor was one of the most iconic moments from the original, and although it appears it was stripped away this time, once you get to Scenario B, you'll get to experience the window-scuttling horror in all its 2019 glory. Fans will remember the Tyrant, or Mr. X if you prefer, not showing up until Scenario B the first time around. Well, in the remake, not only does he show up in Scenario A, but now he has a lovely little hat that you can knock off with a cheeky, well-placed pop. Turns out the Tyrant was quite fond of his little hat. It's rare, but occasionally you'll catch him wondering where it's gone. He looks fuming. In his quest to murderize you, the Tyrant also won't stand for any zombie nonsense. If any of the Horde manage to get in between you and the main man himself, then bosh, do on zombies, this is big boy shit. He also isn't afraid of a little traversal and will happily climb ladders if it speeds up his hunting process. Although jumping down broken ones? No way. Fans of the series will fondly remember the dogs jumping through the window and then the subsequent Fakeout in the Resident Evil remake. This time the clever twist is that Birkin doesn't burst through the wall on the cable car, but he bursts through the ceiling just before the cable car. Fair play Capcom, you got me again. Although it's tricky to read, it was possible to see Redrum written on the wall in the 1998 classic. Although there's no sign of it this time, we can't help but think they subbed in another reference from The Shining instead. See Exhibit A.
Here's Johnny!
Remember all those creepy mannequins with no arms in Resident Evil 7? Seems like they've made their way to the RPD. Not sure why these exist in a police station, but this is also the building that locks door access behind a lion medallion, so try not to think too much about it. Okay, this one might be a stretch, but just after you leave the parking lot, there's a sign in the distance for Mikhails Pierogies. Potentially a reference to Mikhail from Resident Evil 3? Why a member of Umbrella's biohazard countermeasure service would have an authentic Russian cuisine restaurant, we're not sure. But hey, maybe they'll explain that in the inevitable Resident Evil 3 remake. Resi's examine feature has always been a core mechanic of its puzzles. This time though, it provides a very handy extra function. When juggling your chess pieces, you'll notice that they're all called an electronic part. However, with a quick little examine, the inventory will now conveniently rename the items correctly, leaving you no longer guessing which piece is which. Ever miss a key item and spend another hour searching every room? Don't worry, we've all been there. Now though, Resi 2 has a very handy feature that places an icon for the item on the map once you've discovered it. Fans of the original will remember the STARS office and all its tiny little details. In 2019, it's been lovingly recreated with all the bells and whistles that you'd expect. Also, there's now a lovely little doggy picture, so that's nice. Speaking of the STARS room, you'll now notice Wesker's upgraded to an office, no longer sitting out in the open with all the shit munchers. This hasn't stopped him keeping the classic STARS photo right behind him though. Wesker's desk also contains an extra treat. In the original, there was a bizarre secret that involved searching his desk 50 times, and then developing a secret and slightly creepy photo. There's no filth in his drawer this time, but there is something that's reasonably well hidden. Later in the game, you'll find a roll of film that takes a bit of backtracking to develop. Once you do though, you'll reveal photos of 2 hiding places, one of them being Wesker's desk. Head back up there now to find an action prompt and pick up a non-grotty reward. During the game, you'll use a STARS shield/USB stick to access the armory. Turns out there's actually a second use for it. Make sure you grab the badge back, and then later on you'll notice a display case with a very odd badge-shaped locking system. Simply retract the USB back into the badge, and bingo, more treats. If you happen to pick up the Resident Evil 2 Deluxe Edition, you'll notice a few extra features that the old school fans will love. First up, you can actually switch the game soundtrack to the 1998 original. It comes equipped with the original menu sound effects, and in an awesome touch, now crossfades each room's specific piece of music for your nostalgic delights. Before there was Claire Redfield, there was a hero that never was. Elsa Walker was the original character design and can be seen in Resident Evil 1.5 videos all over the internet, while now she can be spotted again in Resident Evil 2. Simply switch over your costume to Elsa's fetching raccoon university racing suit. Elsa's outfit isn't the only added costume. There's also the very fetching Noir Delps for both Leon and Claire. Wearing the costume also applies a black and white noir filter to the screen. Look how beautiful it f***ing hell! In a nod to the original and Jack Baker from Resident Evil 7, Mr. X can also burst through the wall of the conference room to attack you when you least suspect it. Not only is this shit your pants scary, but he also creates a new convenient passage to walk through. Cheers, Exy. In a final nod to the 1998 classic, the very last shot of Birkin in Scenario B harkens back to the original's main menu. The Resi Circle, now complete. If you're interested in more Resident Evil 2 though, why not check out our review or the evolution of Resident Evil 2.